Today we have with us Sulakshana Tamang and Trishala Guru, two of the youngest members of the all-women expedition team from Bengal who have scaled Everest successfully in the very first attempt. Both of them are from Darjeeling and we are very privileged and overjoyed to have both of them with us. So today we'll conduct a small interview, a sort of an informal session where we'll get to know more about them. Sulakshana and Trishala, everyone doesn't know in details about you. So please tell us in brief about your childhood, about your schooling, college, everything. Which place have you come from? Both one after the other. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Sulakshana Tamang and I'm particularly from Darjeeling my school was St. Teresa's. First I till 7 I did St. Teresa's. I studied in St. Teresa's and class 10 I did from morning school, and class 11 and 12 from Tibetan school, Central School for Tibetans.
Okay.
And after that I joined college, Ghum Jorbongla Degree College. I was a first year student. Because of Everest expedition I lost 2 years, so I didn't complete my first year exams and all. So my childhood is like this. My whole childhood I spent Darjeeling itself. I had never been plain reasons because I don't like hot areas. So that's why I had never been. Only because of this Everest expedition, I visit all the hot places
like you've come to Kolkata.
Yeah, like Kolkata and Delhi. It's very hot temperature, and I have to survive there a very long time. It's very uncomfortable.
So in college, with which subject did you take admission? In which subject did you take admission?
First I took geography honors, but somehow I didn't give to the time for practicals and all.
Okay.
So that's why I dropped it.
Okay.
And right now I'm doing general subjects.
Okay, fine. Over to you, Trishala.
My name is Trishala Guru. I was born in Darjeeling itself. So my schooling I've pursued both my ICSE and ISC from Loreto Convent, Darjeeling.
Okay.
And after that I joined Southfield College, formerly Loreto College, with geography honors.
Okay.
And about my childhood, we are 3 sisters at home. I'm the eldest. I've got 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
And it's always been a home full of girls, fun, lot of
Sibling rivalry.
yeah, that's all. So my childhood, it's been a wonderful experience with both my sisters and all.
Okay. So you don't have any siblings, Sulakshana? You're a single child?
No. I do have.
Okay. How many
even,
siblings do you have?
3. We are 3 girls.
3 sisters.
Like her only.
Okay.
And I'm the smallest one.
Does any of your father have any previous experience in mountaineering?
I actually got inspired from him itself because he has done his basic course from Darjeeling, HMI, and I used to see the photographs when I was really small. And when you're small, people ask you like, what are you planning for your future? What is the ambition?
Right.
Everyone used to say, I'm going to go for a doctorate or something like
Engineering.
engineering and all. And I always used to say that I'll climb mountains someday. And they never took me seriously.
So this has been your childhood dream?
Yes.
Okay.
And after my father's photographs, seeing all those photographs and all, I told him that I'll do it one day. But he said that you look the smallest among your sisters and all, and your physique is also not quite fit for mountaineering. He used to say that. But later on I got chance, and now he's very supportive. I'm here because of him.
So even he has gone for any summits in his lifetime?
No, because after his course, they were planning to go for some expeditions, but somehow it happened that he ended up getting married. So
now he's into a regular job?
Yes.
Okay. Now what made you pursue mountaineering? We know it's not a very conventional form of sport. What made you take up mountaineering?
Actually, before I don't have a certain aim and certain goals in my life. I just run away here and there. I'm a jolly type of girl, so roaming here and there, and just like that I spent all my childhoods and all. And every time I saw the trekking is going on, because in our town Himalayan Mountaineering Institute is there, but I never thought that I like to
You
go
felt
there.
like participating. No,
Yeah.
you felt like participating.
I felt
Okay.
like, but
But you never participated.
I never. Then opportunity comes in front of our eyes, in front of us. So my college ma'am told me that why not? You can have that potential. You have to go there. You have to give a trial. She said, and I jumped into that opportunity. Then I started selecting again. Select.
You kept on getting
Yeah.
selected.
And that is the reason why I climbed Everest.
Okay, what happened in the trial exactly? The trial which took place on the very first day at HMI.
We had a running test, and after that pull-ups.
You had to run for how many kilometers? Like, tell us in detail about what happened in that trial, the first trial.
Yeah, we had to run for 5 kilometers from HMI till the gate of, there is a park named Strawberry Park,
5
till that
kilometers.
gate and back. With the chit, because they were giving us chits according to our rank. And they gave us some chits out there, and we took that chits and ran back to HMI. And running down is quite easy, but while coming back, it's the
Very
hill
tough.
uphill. So
uphill.
yeah, we were running up there only. We ran for maybe it was around 5 kilometers, and after that, that was the first trial where so many girls got rejected. From around 150, just the 20 of us got selected. First
the
20.
first round of
Yes,
the
the
trial.
first lot.
Okay,
got
and what was the
selected.
next
And
round?
second round was pull-ups. We had to do pull-ups. We could hardly pull 2, 3 out there. So that was our stamina back then. Initially, that was the stamina. And after that, this third round was interview with our expedition leader, Colonel Gaurav Kaki. He asked us that if you have to drop a year or so, are you willing to do that? So we said yes, of course, because it's Everest. Nobody gets such chance again and again in life. Whereas studies,
Once
you
in
can
a
do it
lifetime
again.
chance.
Yeah. So after that, 10 girls got selected from Darjeeling, and one was from Kolkata itself, Unnati Pandey.
Okay.
She was also an NCC cadet.
So did she reach the summit finally?
Yeah, she did Diotibba.
So are any of you actively involved with any other form of outdoor sport or only mountaineering?
I do before.
You did before what?
Yeah,
Basketball.
I played football, basketball, shot put, long jump, high
So
jump.
you were a sports person. Like
Yeah.
you were interested in sports from before.
Yeah.
And you, Trishala?
I played all the sports, but I never took it seriously. So I wasn't quite into sports before. That's why.
More into academics.
Yeah, more. No, not really. Partially.
Tell us in details about the entire procedure from Diotibba onwards.
Okay. First of all, this expedition started because of our present DG, General Anirudh Chakravarti, because after 2013, the boys went for NCC Everest Boys Everest expedition. So after that successful expedition, he decided that if boys can do, then why cannot the girls? So he proposed this plan, and our colonel was selected first of all, and then our leader selected all of us. So from India overall, 100 cadets were initially selected.
Women,
and those
100 women were selected.
and those 100 cadets, we underwent a special basic course in HMI Darjeeling. From there, 40 were selected. Those 40 first went for the pre-Everest expedition to Diotibba. And after that, on the basis of our discipline, how well we relate with the team, and our physical fitness, that was important. On that basis only, from 40, 15 of us got selected to
For
mount
the Trishul.
second
Mount
pre-Everest,
Trishul.
yes, Trishul. And from there, on the same basis, 10 girls were selected, 10 girl cadets, and we went for Siachen training and then Everest.
So what exactly happened in your training program?
First, we have to trek a long day, 12 hours, 11
Every day
hours.
12 hours?
12 hours, 11 hours. And after that, when we reach the snow area, the glacier area, then we have to. They give us training like army training. Exactly what does army do in the cold region?
This you are talking about the training which you have to undergo in Siachen?
Yeah.
That training?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there they taught us to climb peak toe climbing, ladder crossing, rescue.
So the army people were also there to guide you, to
Yes,
supervise you.
yes.
It was through NCC only, so the other members were the PI staffs from army, the officers from army.
were they were they making you carry all these activities under directly their supervision?
Yes,
or
yes.
or were they like showing you, demonstrating something, and then they were saying, okay, now you go and try it out yourself? Or was it like they were always all along
They
with
were
you?
along with us,
all along
and
with
during
you?
the training they first gave us the demo, and after that we had to copy them.
You had to copy
That
them,
way.
and
Yes,
when
yes.
you were copying them, they were also all along with you.
along with us.
Okay. They didn't leave you alone.
No.
At the end of the Trishul expedition, did after that, right next to that was the Everest expedition coming up. So did you both consider yourself fit enough for Everest? Because it is the Everest, the highest peak. Did you have the self-confidence? Okay, we are fit enough to scale Everest. What was your feeling like?
You know, the more we learned, the more I felt that I have so much more to learn. So I did not consider myself totally fit, 100% fit for it, because it is the Everest. You never know what happens in the mountains.
What you face
So
over there?
yeah, that was my feeling.
Even mine the same feelings, because we didn't know
But
Everest.
physically you all were fit.
Yes.
No problems,
There was
nothing.
no doubt, yeah.
Okay. Tell us about your entire journey in the field of mountaineering before scaling Everest.
In Diotiba, we were 40 cadets, and GCI ma'am, 2 GCI ma'ams, 3 officers, and PI staffs were 20 or something like that. And there is 3 camps: Camp 1, Camp 2, and Camp 3. And Diotiba is the easiest one. Though it for us it was a first expedition, but compared to Trishul and Everest, Diotiba is the
Easiest.
easiest, and we all climbed.
What was the duration of this entire expedition?
It's 1 month, I guess.
1 month.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about Trishul? 15 people.
Yes, 15
15
cadets
people have
were
gone.
then selected from Diotiba, and we went for Trishul in Uttarakhand, and we had 3 camps out there also: Camp 1,
Okay.
Camp 2, and the
Camp
Summit
3.
Camp. Yeah.
And one month.
Yes, it was more than a month actually, because
was
we
a
did
more
not get
difficult
we did not get a clear weather window. So we had some problem during the summit also, and we stayed for 1 week extra out there. So if we get a weather window, then we'll
For
be
the weather
going,
to get better.
Yes, yes.
Both of you are born in Darjeeling. You have been in the mountains from your birth. So do you think that has that proved in some way beneficial to you?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Getting because you can adapt to the climate much better than we people can. Because
We noticed that in Delhi, because people from the plains, the other girls who were from south and all, who were in the cities, they used to run quite faster than us in the plains in Delhi.
Okay.
While we were having a physical training in the morning,
Okay.
and we were lagging behind out there, and we were quite scared that they are more fitter than us.
We will not be able to make it to Everest.
What will happen in future? And when we were in the mountains,
You were running faster.
then it was the opposite.
Well ahead of them.
Yes, yes. They were lagging behind then, and we were leading in front. So that way, yes, it is quite beneficial to be from the hills.
Because you have an inherent level of fitness in you, which people from the plain areas won't have. Tell us in details about the entire composition of your team to Everest. I know 10 people had
Yes, 10 girl
a group
cadets.
of 10 people, 10 cadets. Okay, and tell us in details how many people had gone in addition to the cadets.
We were 24 members
Okay.
in this NCC Girls Everest Expedition team this year, and 3 were the officers. Actually, 4 were the officers, but 3 were in climbing member. We had Colonel Gaurav Karki as the leader, then we had Deputy Leader Vishal Alawat sir, and then third we have Training Officer Major Deepika Rathore, and she has already done Everest before in 2012.
This is the second time.
Yes, yes. That comprised of all women army officers.
Okay, when she had gone,
yes,
that
yes.
was also all women on
Yes,
your
all
officers
women.
team. Okay.
And fourth we had our doctor sir, Captain
Jayant.
Jayant Rastogi. So 4 were the officers, and others were PI staffs, including 2 GCI ma'ams. And they are actually girl cadet instructors in
For
army.
others, it was the first time. For the other
Yes, yes,
female members, it was the first time. to
Yes, for the
Everest.
female members it was the first time, but
Except
there were
for-
few PI staffs who went earlier also.
Okay, okay.
And then
Those
the
were male
10 cadets.
members.
Yes.
Mm.
And from there 19 were in climbing.
Climbing members.
So 19 were in climbing members, and the others were for the backup management and all, they stayed in the base camp.
So when you set up for DOT, but that was your first time expedition, right? You haven't gone on an expedition before. So how was the feeling like? Were you nervous? You had some
Excited,
apprehensions about what is going to happen up there in the mountains?
Yeah, we were nervous and excited also because we all have a huge team and actually
Everyone going on a
yeah
adventure trip together.
yeah adventure trip and from West Bengal we were 11 girls actually till Diotipa. Including us, and we were all Nepali and only one Bengali.
So you made many friends.
Yeah.
Everyone became friends, good friends.
Yeah, very good friends, and we enjoy a lot in Diotipa expedition.
Enjoyment and excitement was much more than
Yes, because we didn't really know what an expedition is at that time. We came to know about the expedition and how it is conducted and all only in Everest when we had to do all the work by ourselves. The preparation and all, everything we had to do that all by ourselves because of the packing and all. In Diotiba and Trishul there were a lot of PI staffs, so they used to do work for us.
But in Everest there were not that many PI staffs.
Because the climbing member were also less, just the 24 of us, and the 24 only worked out there day and night packing the stuffs, all the stuffs that was to be sent by road and all we had sorted out that, packed and ready for the truck to leave. So before us the load went and we all packed that all by ourselves and while coming back also the tent and all.
You're talking about Everest?
Yes, in Everest only then we came to know that expedition is conducted this way, so many things we have to keep in mind before leaving after leaving.
That means in Trishul also you were accompanied by many PI staffs. In this Everest expedition, how many acclimatization rotations did you take? Like from C1 to C2, from C2 to C3 directly? Or you say you went from C1 to C2, then you came back to C1, then again you went to C3? Or it was a straight continuous journey?
No, there was a continuous acclimatization process.
From base camp to C1 to
Yeah, so many. First day we went to the Khumbu ice fall half, then again we returned to base camp, and another day we start walking from base camp and till Camp 1, and we stayed one night there, and again we came back.
Base camp.
Yeah, base camp.
Okay.
Again we started
base
climbing.
camp.
Yeah, base camp, and till Camp 2 we stayed there.
The next day we took a rest for a day. At
In
that
Camp
time,
2?
yes, we went till the halfling of Camp 3.
Okay, half the way till Camp 3, and then you came back to Camp 2.
No,
Camp 2, and then from Camp 2 to Camp 3. We touched Camp 3, we didn't spend a night there.
You spent the night in Camp 2 itself.
Camp 2. And then right away to base camp. From base camp again down to Feriche, a place named Feriche.
Okay.
And out there we rested for 4 days for rest and recoup. And we ate a lot, regained our energy,
Stamina.
yes, everything, and we were all set for Everest.
Okay. So, tell us about the entire route to and from Everest.
We took the traditional route, which was taken by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay Sherpa in 1953 expedition. So it is also named after them only, Tenzing Hillary route. And we started our trek from Jiri, which is a village in the outskirts of Kathmandu. And from there only we started our trek we trekked for about 17 days and reached base camp on 21st of April. And that was how we reached.
During the course of the Everest expedition, Camp 3 was the last camp.
No, Camp 4.
Oh, you had gone till Camp 4. Okay.
No, we went during the acclimatization phase. We reached till Camp 3. Yes,
but
we did not touch.
For the summit, you went up till Camp 4.
Camp 4, and from
there to summit. Okay. Okay, like we all know that Everest is associated with danger. Every year accidents occur in Everest. We all read about that. So we are all very scared of undertaking mountaineering because we are all very scared for our lives. We all fear death. How do you manage to overcome this fear at such a young age? Did you never feel scared for yourselves?
Every time we felt like when we start, when we packing our bag and all, and we thought that we are going, but we don't know that we will came back or not. Happily.
So that didn't make you demotivated? That didn't
never
deter you from going?
No, never, because we have a perfect teamwork every time, and the sir were always there around us.
Motivate you
always around us and motivate us, and Sir always said like, "Come on, India, come on, India." That
You
was
have
the
to do it.
yeah,
You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it, and that was the slogan for us. And every time when we were tired and we were not walking and we were just there
Sitting.
yeah, sitting and there, and sir will tell us
Push you
that,
up.
yeah, push us that saying the "Come on, India, you can do it, you can do it." That was the slogan.
You know, when you already know that this will happen in future, and
You are well prepared to face
Yes,
any scenario,
yes.
any situation.
it's better not to know what will happen next. If you keep it a mystery, that will help a lot.
So, what was your first reaction after you reached the summit successfully? Such a young age, being a part of the first all-women team from Bengal, scaling Everest successfully in the very first attempt. What was your first reaction like?
We climbed Everest. Okay, there is
In two groups.
in two
You
groups.
submitted the first
Yeah,
day,
first day, and she is the
second day, 22nd day.
And the feeling when we in the top, we felt like
We're in heaven.
yeah, it is a heaven, truly heaven, paradise. We feel like that because all were white, and all the mountains were
Line.
yeah,
You could see all
like,
the mountain.
yeah. And when we came back after climbing the Everest to base camp, there we didn't feel anything like we climbed the Everest and all. We feel nothing.
You were not at all tired. That time.
Yeah. We just felt like it is the part of training because it's been like 1.5
was so
year.
smooth.
Yeah. It was 1.5 year that we were training and expedition doing. So
Very used to it. Got very used to it.
Only when we came back to Bagdogra airport, then we saw the crowd.
the way
and-
back.
Yeah. That time we felt ki we achieved something.
We have done something
yeah,
great.
something very big. We felt like we discussed also like what it did, Ambo. Every people are waiting for us
To
and all.
receive you,
Yeah.
welcome you. Okay, that means that the entire journey to Everest was not full of many hurdles, because of which the journey was more or less smooth.
Yeah, luckily for us, it
For
was quite
your-
smooth because we were hearing so many people are dying.
Dying.
In the base camp
Saw
itself,
also-
there was a Japanese guy who died inside his tent because of suffocation. He got suffocated.
And you have met two people also
Yes, that was up
Affected.
in the South Pole.
in South Korea affected with snow blindness, struggling to keep himself
Yes,
away.
yes.
Then one more person had breathed his last after he was brought to
Yes,
the
he
camp.
was in the triangular phase.
So that means because Sulakshana is telling that she didn't feel like she has come back after conquering Everest. So that means the journey wasn't full of any not any major difficulty.
Difficult is there because we can't say no that.
But you didn't feel as such because training had equipped you
Yeah.
to face all this.
We feel fair and we feel very. It was a dangerous places where we have to. Cross and all. My most fairest thing is the ladder, which is horizontal ladder, because when we have to climb there one step and
Put your step very carefully.
and we have to see the all views also down there, because if we'll go there, no one can rescue
you.
no one can take you out. So my fairest thing is that horizontal ladder, toughest one. I feel like that.
And what was your toughest moment in this entire expedition?
Waking up at night around 12, and by 1 o'clock we had to leave. While crossing the Khumbu Glacier, that was the most difficult part for me. We could not sleep, we could not get enough sleep, and we
So you
had
were
to
tired?
walk with a headlight at night.
At night.
Yeah,
Nothing was
with the
visible.
headlight, and crossing Khumbu was quite difficult. And by 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock you reach Camp 1. So you have to walk the whole night.
So during this entire journey, this Everest expedition, did you ever encounter, or not on Everest, among all the 3 expeditions which you've undertaken till date, did you ever come across a situation where you felt like, okay, I don't know whether I'll be able to make it successfully or not, I should give up,
Yes.
like it's beyond
That
my
feeling is there.
capability.
When
did
you get
face such a
tired,
situation?
even when you get tired, you cannot walk, and the rest of the members start going in front of you. At that time, also, you feel that why did I choose this field? Why had to come here?
Can you tell of any such specific moment
Yeah, it was,
when this happened? When
in the South Summit, when we were going for the summit.
After
when
Camp 4.
Yes. In the balcony it was quite dark, but above balcony while going up to the South Summit, we could see the sunrise from there. And after sunrise, we reached South Summit. It was quite lighted up at that time. Broad daylight was there, and that point was I cannot forget that moment because both my legs had given up. I had got blisters at the back, and it was continuously rubbing with the boot. And that blister made me feel that no, this is it. Yeah, now you cannot go further. And at that time, I got all the hard work I had done, all my parents' sacrifices and all started recollecting in my mind. So I thought that okay,
And you
if I take one step forward, I'll make it to the summit. That's how I went. At that time, I felt like giving up.
Tell us, Sulakshana, what was the toughest moment you had faced in this entire Everest expedition?
Okay, my oxygen mask not functioning well, so I was choking, and my Sherpa went down, and he bring the spare oxygen, and I was waited 15 minutes there, and because of me there is a huge line.
Other people couldn't pass.
And I was telling them like by action, like go on, and they were crossing me, and they went away. And after reaching balcony, my Sherpa first time he changed my oxygen cylinder, and then after when I saw upward, my first team member, they were going, and I was lacking behind because of my oxygen marks. And the spare one also not functioning well, and 100% oxygen not giving me properly.
Okay.
I'm not taking, and afterwards I came to know that the spare one also not functioning well after summiting, when I go down to the Camp 2.
So you went for the summit with that oxygen only?
Yeah.
But you are not being able to breathe properly?
Yeah, not
but you
properly.
managed with that?
Yeah, I managed with that because the willpower was there. We all are strong mentally and physically, and after that the huge rock was there, and I was looking at up, and my all members went away, and I feel like no one is there. How to walk? How
will I make it
yeah?
to the
How will
summit?
yeah? How I'll go and all, because Sherpa is also not talking with me. My throat was choked, that my voice was not coming out, and I was feeling like
Left out?
Yeah, left out, and I feel like to give up and all. And every time when I was walking, I was telling my Sherpa that please take out my oxygen mask and see this is not functioning well and all. And he was every time he was taking my oxygen out, and again he was bring back.
Taking it back.
Yeah. And every time the process is going on, and because of that also I
Lost some time.
Yeah, I lost more and more energy, more and more. That's why I feel so many weakness in my body. And then after that I feel like to sit sometimes, because I was not concentrating that whether I'll go up and whether I'll go down, because life is the most important thing in mountains. That's why I was sitting and I was thinking what to do. Then illusion, we said like in mountains, illusion came in our mind, in front of our eyes. We are dreaming with open eyes. The same things was happening to me.
Kind of
like hallucination. Yeah, same thing was going to me, like if I'll sit like this also I'll die. If I'll go up, then I have to suffer a lot, and if I'll go down, then I don't know, because I could not make a summit and all. I felt like that. I was thinking while I was sitting. Then lastly I was thinking an illusion will come, hallucination, like something like that, and in my mind only my father and mother's faces were coming in front of my eyes, and that was the most willpower for me, that till from there to till summit to top, I walk, and in one step I was saying mummy, and in another step I said papa, mummy papa, and finally I reached the top. And that was the most willpower. Without willpower nobody can reach that highest, because she also have willpower, that she said before. And even for me also, willpower, there is a willpower, we must have willpower, only we can reach. Yeah.
So what has been your motivation? Your motivation has been your dad, and you're the mountaineering engineer. Your sir, your
Ma'am,
teacher,
ma'am,
your
yeah.
ma'am, who inspired you to join.
Yeah, ma'am,
HMI.
and after joining this field, her father support not only me but all our member from Darjeeling.
Tell us about the final route to Everest, the final summit, the route for the final summit push to Everest. On date wise?
Yes, it's day wise. Throughout the acclimatization phase, we were together. All the 19 of us were together, and before leaving for the final push, then we were divided into two groups. They made sure that since there were 3 Ladakhi girls, they were in both the groups.
Okay.
So they separated them also. We two were also separated, and she was in team 1, I was in team 2. The first team, the first lot left on the 18th of May. 18th of May at night around 1 o'clock, early in the morning. And they crossed the Khumbu, and they reached. They went straight up to Camp 2 that day, 19th, and on 18th, right? On 18th they went to Camp 2, and on 19th Camp 3, and 20th
Camp.
to South Col. That is Camp 4, and
21st
they
to
did not spend the night there. They reached in the afternoon, rested for 3 to 4 hours out there, and they ate something, changed their socks and all, rested, and then they left at around 9 o'clock.
In the night.
Yes, and they reached summit early next day. That was the
21st
21st.
Yeah.
And
11
same with us, but we left the base camp on 19th,
May.
then 20th, 21st, and on
22nd
22nd
morning.
summit.
Summit. Among all the peaks which you ascended till now, which has been the most physically challenging yet? Trishul. Why?
Since I told you already that the weather conditions were not good out there, we had to spend extra 1 week. The food was it started getting less, so we had to do load ferry again from down, and all those physically because we came down to Camp 1 to rest, since Camp 2 was at quite a height and we could not eat properly. Our appetite had already gone down, so instead of staying there and wasting our energy, they decided that if we get a weather window, then we'll go up. We came down, so it was 4 times we went up and down, the second team.
So much of your energy
Yes,
has been
that's
spent already going up and down.
Yes. And in the summit also, they had quite a lot of problem because of the weather.
And still, how did you make it through?
Actually, we reached till 22,000 feet because the weather was not good, and all the soft snow were coming blowing and
windy.
come in our faces and all our body was frozen there, and casualty was also there. Sir told us that if we'll go, then again we'll face the same problem and all. Then it's better to get down. We were in 22,000 feet, and from there
The whole team came back.
Yeah, whole team, we all came down.
And from Camp 1, the cadets who got chilblain and frostbite were rescued, heli rescued.
And you all again set out for the summit.
After that, yes, then Team 2 and Team 1. The
Never
numbers
see
were
what
quite
broken
strong.
up
Yes,
into 2 teams.
yes.
Yeah.
There also we were 2 teams, and from there those who were quite physically weak, by then they had lost.
They were rescued.
Yes. They were
They were
rescued,
taken
and
back.
few
Yeah.
of the others were sent down to the base camp. And the final one team, final one team was made, and that went for the summit. But still, we could not make. We did not get over the window only.
Okay, so you didn't reach the summit.
no.
Oh, you'll have to come back.
From the summit camp only. Then second time we went till the summit camp, and then we came back.
How many members were there in the final team?
Uh,
How many physically fit members are there?
in Trishul,
In Trishul?
maybe 9 cadets.
Out of
9
15, 9 were
yes,
there.
yes, 9 cadets.
Okay. So you all said that you didn't face any major difficulty while going to Everest. But still, we hear about accidents occurring every year in Everest. This year also we have come across so many casualties occurring in Everest. So, what do you feel are the main reasons behind this? Lack of training, or weather conditions have to be blamed, or carelessness? What do you feel are the major reasons behind it?
Usually the summit takes place early morning or late morning before 12, and the accidents mostly occur because they summit late. And why late? It's because it's the Everest. You will not be able to get this opportunity again and again. So much of investment is done. Around 22 lakhs you'll have to pay.
Late means you mean late in the day?
Yeah, late
Evening,
in the, yeah, around 1 or 2,
In the
sometimes
afternoon.
in the afternoon also. So as it is shown in the Everest movie also, they submitted very late that day, and while coming down it's quite late. It's usually dark at night, so at that time your oxygen, the amount of oxygen you use during the summit and the way back, it is estimated according to that only. So your oxygen also starts finishing.
depleting.
Yes, and your energy is also very low because so much of energy you'll apply while going up only. So you're totally exhausted by the time you come down. Yes, and I think that is the main reason. You shouldn't be stubborn out there. You know, if your body is not functioning properly,
You should return.
Yes, you should return.
And
The
you should always
mountains will
go
always
for,
be there.
you should always go for summit early in the morning.
Yes, early morning. If you cannot walk in proper speed, if you are quite slow, then you leave early at night.
Okay. So lack of training is also
Yeah,
a major reason behind it.
Why? Not only the lack of training, you see so many professional climbers also dying out there. You
So
get
it was
obsessed with the mountains actually. This field is such a field that you get addicted once you summit one peak.
You can't.
You
You can't
then you
resist the
try for
temptation
another,
of giving
then
up.
another. So it's mainly because of that really. You've come so
far.
far. You're so close to the summit.
You feel like giving
yes,
up.
Yes, and maybe they also did that only. If
So-
you've come here, then why not summit and then go back?
So what you're basically trying to say is that a person should be very well aware of his physical limitations and capabilities. And once if he realizes that he's not fit enough, he should come back. He should come back immediately.
There were many climbers who came back. They said that we'll try it next year, next season.
So what are your future plans as young teenagers? Not okay, teenagers only, you can say. Academically, anything in life, future plans.
Future plan is like this.
What do you aspire to be?
We have to complete our studies because we lost 2 years.
Graduation.
Yeah. We have to complete that first, and other
After graduation?
Yeah, no. In on the hand, we'll complete our course also. That is advanced course and MOI course.
From HMI?
Yeah, and we'll both do that.
Simultaneously, graduation and the training.
Yeah.
So after graduation, any plans as of now? What plans?
I feel like I'll go. Like I said that I don't have aim before. So I climbed Everest. So why not? I'll go in this field only.
Or you will take life as it comes along.
Yeah.
Nothing from before. You don't plan anything. From
No.
before. And you, Trishala, any plan after?
I like a
graduation?
routine life. That way I'll also be fit. There'll be a kind of a routine. Along with that, I would like to work as a freelancer. You know, these days kids and all, they're so stuck up with computers, laptops, PSP and mobile phones. I feel that they've become quite unhealthy. They are quite detached from extracurricular activities and all.
Okay.
So I would like to, open up an institution kind of thing. For teenagers and all, there is HMI, they have adventure course and all. But the little ones, I would love to
Where they will be encouraged to take up all these outdoor sports.
camps. Yeah, summer camps type or winter camp and all. And not only for the kids, for the old people who've retired above 60 and all, for them also. Because staying at home, they'll become quite lonely and all. But out there in the camps and all, they'll make new friends. They can share their problems and all.
And physically also they'll remain fit.
Yes, they will.
What are your hobbies like? In free time, what do you do?
Dancing, singing, playing guitar.
So you are also a guitarist as well.
Yeah, little.
And you, Trishala?
I love to go for hiking. I love cooking and making up small things at home. I take up yes, any kind of creative things, and I sketch.
Painting. Are you interested?
No, I don't know how to paint, but I just sketch, pencil sketch and all.
Okay.
I do
Portraits.
that. Yes, reading books. I love doing that. I work as a volunteer in this NGO that is MARG, Mankind in Action for Rural Growth, and out there
For rural growth?
Yes.
Okay, so
And
you visit
it's
rural areas?
not only the rural areas, but also in the urban areas. Also, we spread awareness on human trafficking and child sexual abuse.
How did you land up being a part of the NGO? Was this a part of your school?
Yeah, in school also we had this club, Students Against Trafficking, SAT Club.
Okay.
So through that only we used to get information that such things are happening in town and all. And later on in college,
You become a part of this NGO. Here we have with us Mr. Om Prakash Tamang, a very proud father of Sulakshana Tamang. His daughter has recently scaled Everest and come, as we all know. So we'll just have a brief chat with him. Just, आप तो माउंटेनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड से नहीं है?
जी
नहीं।
जी मैं नहीं।
हाँ, तो जब आपकी बेटी ने पहली बार ये कहा कि उसे माउंटेनियरिंग में एक शौक है, वो एवरेस्ट जाना चाहती, तो आपका क्या रिएक्शन था?
वो तो ऐसे ही गेम्स में आउटडोर गेम्स एंड एथलेटिक्स
हमेशा उसका इंटरेस्ट था?
उसमें वो बहुत अव्वल है।
अच्छा।
वेरी गुड, शी इज वेरी गुड। तो वो उसको उसमें वो है,
तो जब वो
एनर्जी है। तो जब वो
HMI में
आया, मुझे तो वो सब तो वो उसका वो बाहर में जाके वो एनजीसी में जाके क्या करके आता है वो तो मैं तो रोज का तो हिसाब नहीं जानता हूँ।
आपको पता
तो
था?
जब वो एक दिन मुझे बोला कि मैं तो HMI हिमालयन माउंटेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट जो दार्जिलिंग का है, हाँ। उसमें वो उसको बुला के कॉलेज से भेज के जब वो हुआ ना सिलेक्ट हुआ, तो बोला कि अब तो हमको माउंटेन ले जा रहा है। हाँ। तो मैंने बोला ठीक है, तो एबल है, इसमें एबिलिटी है, तो और उसमें हेल्पर भी है, उसका पार्टी भी अच्छा है, जो
टीम में
टीम में जो
वेल ट्रेंड थे,
इसलिए उतना दुख उसमें डर नहीं लगा।
तो आपने मना भी नहीं किया?
लेकिन ये बात तो नहीं है कि एवरेस्ट का बात तो नहीं था, खाली उसको कहीं कहीं ले जाएगा घुमाने, जैसे ट्रैकिंग से थोड़ा बेटर। और अच्छा। दार्जिलिंग में एक रॉक क्लाइंबिंग का जगह है, और तेंजिंग नोर्गे रॉक है। हाँ। तो उधर ले गया, तो उधर वो चढ़ के ये लोग वो लोग उसका दोस्त लोग और उसका, तो वो चढ़ के आया, तो मुझे तो लगा ये तो सकेगा ही, मुझे तो पता था वो इतना तो करने सकेगा, लेकिन एवरेस्ट को तो उसमें तो बात नहीं था। तो अब एवरेस्ट का बात कर दूंगा एकदम, ठीक है। तो क्योंकि तो वो करके थोड़ा थोड़ा करके आता था, 1 महीना 15 दिन आता था। तो एक रोज बोला कि अब तो मुझे डायरेक्ट माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ना है।
तब आपका क्या?
तब तो एकदम पूरा डर लगा, भय लगा, ये तो इसमें तो बहुत जान का बाजी है। हाँ। तो उसमें तो पहला तो एकदम पूरा डर लगा मुझे। लेकिन फिर सोचा अगर इसको कुछ सपोर्ट ठीक है, जो इसका बैकग्राउंड एवरेस्ट चढ़ने में जितना भी बैकग्राउंड होता है, जैसे कि लॉजिस्टिक और वो सब ड्रेसेस, वो सब तो इक्विपमेंट, ये सब तो इसको अच्छा मिलने से और अच्छा ट्रेनिंग मिलने से ये तो कर लेगी, क्योंकि इसका कैपेबिलिटी तो मुझे पता था। क्योंकि वो गेम्स में जब जाता था तो एक बार जाता था और एक बार ट्रॉफी लेके आता था, और प्रैक्टिस कभी नहीं करता था,
पर हमेशा जीतती थी।
फर्स्ट नहीं तो सेकंड तो होता ही है। वो बहुत स्कूल में कॉलेज में जाता है और कभी प्रैक्टिस तो नहीं करता है, तो एक जाता है, हमको पता भी नहीं था, ट्रॉफी लेके आता है। तो मुझे तो फुल कॉन्फिडेंट हुआ कि हाँ, लेकिन उसको सपोर्ट अच्छा होने से कर लेगा, ये इतना था। और दुख तो डर तो यही था कि एवरेस्ट का है मामला, तो कुछ गड़बड़ होने भी सकेगा, एवरेस्ट में जाके तो वापस कुछ में नहीं कहने नहीं सकता, इसमें डर था थोड़ा बस।
तो उसकी मम्मी, जैसे कि हम सबके मम्मी पापा हमेशा बहुत चिंतित रहते हम लोग को लेकर कि हम लोग सही सलामत है या नहीं, तो मम्मी लोगों को ज्यादा डर लगा रहता है बेटियों को लेकर, तो उसकी मम्मी भी क्या हमेशा ऐसे ही सपोर्टिव रही है? तो मम्मी ने कभी मना किया
और
कि नहीं मत जाओ बेटा?
तो उसका कितना हुआ वो कफ उसमें एवरेस्ट में जाने से वो कफ भी होता है कि बहुत को सारे लोग को, उसमें इसको ज्यादा हुआ था। तो फोन में वो हम बोलता था कि अब यहाँ पर हूँ, यहाँ पर, तो पूरा कफ करता, कॉफिंग और फोन पर। तो उसका मम्मी तो सुबह शाम, और हमारा जितना भी दार्जिलिंग का बड़ा बड़ा मंदिर है वहाँ तो वो जाके पूरा वहाँ पर उसका रहता था, जाता था, आता था, बैठ के आता था, जाता था, और वो जितना कर नहीं सकता था वो कर करके आता था। और घर पर रोज बत्ती ये सब पूजा और ये तो मेरा तरफ से। और मेरा सगा भाई, उसका बीवी, वो सिस्टर इन लॉज, वो लोग भी, और जितना भी मेरा घर का फैमिली था, हम लोग पूजा पाठ करता था। और अगर वो ठीक करके आएगा, फिर ठीक करके आप रिटर्न होगा, और भी हम लोग का ऐसा आपको फिर मिलने का आऊंगा, ऐसा प्रसाद चढ़ाने आने, ऐसा हम लोग रोज करता है।
पर उसकी मम्मी ने भी कभी मना नहीं किया जाने से पहले कि बेटा मत जाओ?
नहीं, वो नहीं बोला, मैंने बोला तो मान लिया, लेकिन वो फिर दूसरा लोग से बात सुन के डर जाता था। हाँ, भेजने के बाद डर जाता था कि वो क्यों गया। और दूसरा लोग, उसका दोस्त लोग कह देता था ना कि वहाँ तो चढ़ने सकेगा, नहीं सकेगा, ऐसा होता, घटना होता है, दुर्घटना होता है, एक्सीडेंट। तो वो सुन के आके मुझे बोलता था अब तो चला गया है तो छोड़ो, प्रार्थना करो। तो इसी प्रार्थना ज्यादा करने पड़ता है वहाँ।
ऐसा मतलब आप लोग ओवरऑल बहुत सपोर्टिव थे?
जी हाँ।
मतलब ज्यादातर मम्मी पापा अपने बेटी को जाने तक नहीं देंगे। एवरेस्ट तो क्या ट्रैक पे भी नहीं, मतलब जाने के लिए अलाउ नहीं करते।
नहीं, ऐसा तो,
पर आप लोग काफी सपोर्टिव थे।
नहीं, ये तो ऐसा बहुत बहुत बड़ा चांस मिला था ना, तो ये चांस को हम रिजेक्ट और इसको करने को
वापस कब से मिलेगा?
इतना बहुत बड़ा हम लोग के लिए एकदम ज्यादा बड़ा था ये प्रोग्राम। तो इसमें तो हम जाने को हम जरूर परमिशन दिया हमने, क्योंकि ऐसा मौका तो दोबारा नहीं आएगा ये तो मुझे पता है, नहीं आएगा ये दोबारा। तो एक बार आएगा, इसमें होगा अगर तो ठीक है, अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ वो भी तो क्या करेगा, होने हुआ तो जो होगा वही तो होता है, होने वाला है वो होगा ही। तो ऐसे ही समझ के बैठा, हाँ वही समझ के बैठा। अब क्या करें, हम तो वहाँ जाने नहीं सकता था।
सही। आप जब वो फर्स्ट कॉल करके बताई कि मैंने सबमिट कर लिया सक्सेसफुली, तो आप दोनों का क्या रिएक्शन था? आपने क्या बताया?
तो वो दिन था 23 मई में। अच्छा। अब चला गया है तो 4 महीना हुआ था।
अच्छा।
हाँ, और 4 में ग्लेशियर और ट्रैकिंग वो सब करके घर छोड़ के गया। 4 महीना।
4 महीनों में वो एक बार भी घर नहीं आई? नहीं, 4 महीने में। अच्छा ठीक है, ओके। फिर तो
गया, तो रोज तो 2-3 दिन 4 दिन के बाद नेपाल पहुंचा, यहाँ दिल्ली पहुंचा, ऐसे फोन तो कर रही थी।
जब पहली बार जब कॉल किया
वो ट्रैकिंग वो कर करके वो बोला कि हाँ। तो जब वो सबमिट करके नीचे आया तो मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है, हाँ कोई मुझे खबर भी नहीं। तो ऐसे ही बैठा फोन देखा तो मेरा बेटी का कॉल है। हाँ, यही मेरा बेटी का। तो मुझे तो खुश लग गया कि ये तो ठीक है, फोन कर रही है। तो और मुझे बताया भी था ये 21 में सबमिट होगा। तो 21 में तो सबमिट हुआ, तो वहाँ से तो ऊपर से तो कॉल नहीं हुआ, कॉल नहीं आता है। 21 में तो पहुँच गया, लेकिन सिग्नल नहीं मिला। तो 22 में भी नहीं मिला, जून मई को। तो 23 मई को दोपहर में तो उसका लड़की का फोन देखा। तो मैंने मेरा फोन, यही फोन पर मैंने बात किया। तो बोला कि मैं तो सबमिट करके, आप कहाँ हो? तो बेस कैंप में आके हम लोग थोड़ा बैठ के रेस्ट कर रहा है। आपने क्या कहा ये सुन के? तो ये सुन के तो मुझे एकदम पूरा आनंद लगा, एकदम पूरा आनंद हुआ कि तो सबमिट कर लिया। जो तो मुझे उसमें इतना मैंने सोचा था कि होगा नहीं होगा, ये तो कर लिया, तो ये तो कर ही लिया। तो मुझे तो ऐसा लगा कि मैं तो सोचा था तो इसको सपोर्ट मिलने से तो जरूर करेगा,
उसने
तो,
कर भी लिया।
हाँ उसने कर भी लिया। तो इसमें तो मुझे बहुत कुछ नहीं, मुझे दिल में अच्छा लगा, अच्छा लगा।
मम्मी भी बहुत खुश
हाँ
हुई।
मम्मी भी खुश हुआ। तो हमारा फैमिली, दूसरा हमारा भाई, हमारा सब है। मेरा दो बड़ा भाई है, एक छोटा मुझसे छोटा भाई है, दो मुझसे बड़े दीदी
क्या
है।
कोई भी माउंटेनियरिंग में है आपके फैमिली से?
हमारा वैसे कोई भी
नहीं
है।
फर्स्ट सुलक्षणा ही है जो
तो
mountaineering
हम
में
लोग
गई है।
सबको खबर बोला, घर में था तो सुना, बहुत अच्छा हुआ।
थैंक यू सर।